Good morning everyone, and welcome into another Joint Movement DPT's video. As you can see, we are not in Arizona right now. We are heading to a special place today.
It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time. It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time.
We have a fun weekend in store for you guys. I didn't tell them where we were at, but you can say
California?
how far away we are.
We are about 45 minutes away from our destination today.
How far away are we from home?
We're 8 hours from home. That was a long drive.
What do you think of this morning, waking up to this?
It's really pretty. I felt like our drive was probably gorgeous if we got to do it in the daylight, but the sun is setting so early, it's like impossible to get in with the daylight. But last night I was like, I think I see grass. I don't think we're in the desert anymore. And waking up this morning and seeing trees and water and hills, it's really peaceful here.
Not a bad little spot. We found it on freecampingsites.net. It's just a parking lot that has no signs that say, no camping or camping. And so some other people have stayed here. It's right on this Bass Lake here in California. And really beautiful view. The trees are changing because it is in the fall. It is November and all the fall colors are showing up in the beautiful Bass Lake. And then some people coming in just to walk around the lake and put in their boats to do some fishing. And it's 37 degrees out right now. It's a little windy, so it feels about like 34. Let's just say it was a little bit cold in the tent last night. We had our sleeping bags, we had extra blankets up there, our coats on, but it is definitely chilly this morning, so we'll probably do a quick breakfast and some coffee and then hit the road. Trying to find some good lighting. There we go.
We're in Yosemite!
Yes, so we are in Yosemite National Park, one of the national parks we were eager to get to, and a lot of you suggested us to make the trip to.
Yes, it was a long
Yeah, it's
trip.
about 8 hours, 8.5 hours to get here. It is in November, so some of the roads are closed because of snow, which, being desert dwellers for the past few months, snow is an interesting sight to see, and just green things in
Yes.
general. So we're really excited to get started today. One of the first places we wanted to go as we entered the park was this Mariposa Grove, which is a grove of redwoods, but that road is closed. It's about a 3-mile hike up to it, so I don't know if we'll do it.
Yep, so basically what we are going to be able to see today is Yosemite Valley, and it's one of the most popular areas of the park anyway, but Tioga Road and Glacier Point Road are closed, and there's a lot of really cool hikes on those roads. So we won't be able to take, I think, as many hikes or as challenging of hikes as we're used to, but we'll still get to be on the valley floor and see some of the amazing
Some awesome sights.
views, and we're curious to see if the waterfalls are going to be flowing yet, because there is snow, so there may be some waterfall flowage.
Action.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Okay, and just like usual when we're in a national park, we're going to use our Just Ahead app. If you don't already have the Just Ahead app, go get it and use our promo code, which we'll put down in the description, because you can get 2 years for the price of one, and it's a great deal. It's an audio tour throughout the park. This is how we learn so much when we go to national parks. We truly love it, and we would promote them even if we weren't partnered up with them. We would totally use them. We would totally promote them to you guys. So definitely check that out. The app is Just Ahead.
Yeah. Let's go. This is the footprint of a gigantic sequoia tree. Wow. This really gives you a perspective as to how big they are.
Clark, a former miner who moved to Yosemite for his health, built a traveler's
Being here with these trees and the snow and the weather makes me realize how much I miss seasons. I do not think I'm a desert gal. The desert is just death. Anyway, we're coming up on Wawona area of the park. We hear that there's a beautiful lodge there. I kind of hope we get to go in and see like a huge fireplace burning. You can eat there. There's like, what did they say? 102 rooms?
401 rooms.
401 rooms to stay in if you want to stay in the lodge. There's also cabins to rent. There is gas in the park, so we're going to gas up in Wawona. I'm excited to see it.
Beautiful drive.
Gorgeous drive. I think because we've been out of this type of terrain and weather for so long, it just also increases how beautiful it is. Feels good to be back in bear country.
Especially when they're in hibernation.
Yeah, especially when they're in hibernation. There's a lot of black bears here. I don't think there's very many grizzly bears up in this area when comparing it to Montana where we used to be. What I've read did say that they normally hibernate towards the end of November and the beginning of December. So either they're already in hibernation and we're just good to go and safe, or they're like ravenously hungry before they go hibernate.
turn for the Wawona Hotel.
So Wawona is interesting because there is a golf course here, a 9-hole golf course, and we learned that the Wawona Meadow was also used as a landing airstrip. What? But they've restored it, and you can take a stroll around it. The trailhead is right across from the Wawona Hotel, which we are at, and I don't think we can go in, but it's really cool looking outside.
Cool. Nice little humble abode for an artist, and right by the big hotel. Looks like the hotel is under construction right now. They have it pretty well fenced off. I don't know if that's due to COVID or winter or, renovation, but it looks really cool, Victorian style. It'd be a lot of fun to go stay in. Behind me is the wagons they would used to take from Wawona down to Yosemite Valley, which was an 8-hour trip. And if you notice, these wooden wheels do not have springs on them, so it was a rough ride on the rough terrain. It would take them 8 hours. Mind you, we went from western Arizona to here in Yosemite in 8 hours in our car. This is a really cool part. We're in the pioneer historical parts of Wawona, and they have like the old stables where clearly the carts are and where they kept the horses. They have a covered bridge and then a small trail that's going to take us up to some cabins. I think they said they had like an old cabin that used to be the blacksmith, the bakery, and it just kind of takes you back in time of what this park was and how it became a national park. So this is a must stop if you're coming in to Yosemite from the south end. Go ahead, stop here, take the hike, look at all this cool history.
This is cool.
This is really awesome. This is what we enjoy about national parks, just the differences in them, and then kind of how they became like this magical place that everyone was vacationing to, and we were just like, hey, no, we need to make this a national park because this is awesome.
Yeah. Ryan and I were saying it's really cool to visit the parks during these different times of the year, because right now it's unfortunate that everything is shut down, but it's also kind of cool because we're like the only people out here. And there's mist coming up off of the snow as the sun is heating it and melting it, and it just feels like quiet and still and magical. And now we're in this historic part where we're kind of going back in time. It's really cool. I'm liking it.
Very serene.
This is the Mustache Homestead. We've marked our door with a mustache.
So this home's really cool because it's 2 stories. A 2-story rustic old cabin. Really cool just to see the architecture and how they took trees to build this 2 stories, and they had an additional room that was the kitchen. A really cool cabin.
Yeah, it's the only 2-story log cabin in Yosemite.
So a lot of these cabins were originally in the Yosemite Valley. A lot of them came about, like this cabin came about with the Homestead Act, where people were given 160 acres to cultivate and farm.
Worked the land for 5 years.
For 5 years, and then they were just given that land. So that's where a lot of these cabins originated at, in the valley. And then the park has moved them here so we can preserve them. And then kind of get a feel of what this different architecture was through the time. Really, really a neat place here.
Want to know a secret about Ryan? He wants to build one of these.
I do. I want to build a rustic cabin, like get some land, fell some trees. It'd be a lot of fun.
Use the land and have it off-grid.
Yeah, fully off-grid.
We'll see what happens in the next 50 years.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
I think this one has some pretty cool design to it. I love how the windows have whatever type of pattern that is. And then the wood is even laid in different directions on the outside, and I've never seen a log cabin like that before. So just really intriguing and really pretty. I'll let Ryan build a log cabin if he builds one that's pretty like this.
High demands, I tell you what. A pretty tiny jail cell. Just enough room to lay down in. You did not want to go to jail here.
Whoa.
As you round the curve just ahead, you'll have your first look at Yosemite Valley.
Look at this view. This is the best view in the park.
I'm looking.
It's hands down. So this is Tunnel View, one of the probably most popular viewpoints of the valley, and it's right after you come right out of the tunnel,
Yes.
hence Tunnel View.
Yeah.
So make a stop here, check it out, take your pictures, do your yoga poses. This is where you do it. I love these metal things that show you that, what is this, a topical map?
This is a topographical map.
Topographical map, shows you hiking trails and then the elevation, all the main points, where you're at, X marks the spot. Love these.
We have the advantage of the Just Ahead tour guide, and he said there's somewhere you can hike not very far and have the view all to yourself, but we stopped listening halfway through until we heard that part right at the end, so we're gonna try and find that mystery spot now.
Frozen waterfall alert, which actually reminds me of our trip. We went to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. It's in Colorado, southern Colorado. We went there with our friend Chance, but up there is a hike to Zapata Falls. We happened to go there in the winter because we were doing some skiing and snowboarding
On spring break.
on spring break. And the hike, we get up to these Zapata Falls and it was completely frozen over, like a big waterfall.
And the creek was a bit frozen too, right? So
Yeah,
you could,
and it was thick. We were like penguin sliding down this river. It was
Yeah.
amazing, and like you could walk up to the falls and touch them and see water
I
running.
bet I
Like
can find that penguin sliding clip.
we'll have to see if we can dig up some photos. We weren't on YouTube then, so we don't have a video of it. I would love to go back, but I
Yeah,
think that was
really
like
cool.
a once in a lifetime chance to see that. But look up on Instagram like Zapata Falls, and I'm sure there'll be some photos. It's
There's-
beautiful. Yes, so just below us is the Tunnel View parking lot. So this is
Yep.
where you're going to park. This is where you're going to get your best view of the valley. But listen to the Just Ahead app. This is where we got this from. And go over to the second parking lot, and there's a little hiking trail that can take you up.
Yep, and you can actually do a couple hikes. There's like a 1.2 mile hike, there's a 5 mile hike, but all we did was we just walked up the hill to get a better viewpoint without all the crowds.
Yeah, maybe a few hundred feet, and it's a
Yeah.
really great view and a little bit more solitude. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Wow, can you imagine having a cabin right down there, and it's just like your home to look up at those big mountains?
This view is so amazing, it almost seems unreal. Like there is somehow a green screen in front of us, and they're just tricking us.
Yeah.
Now,
But it is real.
what do you think is this? How is this ranking on your national parks you've been to?
So different. So hard to rank.
You know, I think it's in my top 3.
Well, your top number just keeps growing. You had top 1, top 2, top 3. Your limit is 5.
So right now I have Glacier, Zion. Here is competing, and then
Yeah.
the Grand Tetons for me were really cool because I like all the lakes there.
Yeah. This park today has had a totally different vibe. It's just, I don't know. There's something that's very like
Wildernessy.
peaceful, yeah, peaceful, calming, wild about it. And it's hard to compare to Zion because Zion is very red rock, more of that desert
Canyon-y.
feeling, canyon, typically warm if you don't go in the fall, no snow. So it's very different. I mean, the colors in Zion amazed me, but here it just feels very tranquil.
Yeah.
Behind us is the site of the old Yosemite Village. And we already saw some of the buildings over at the Yosemite History Center in Wawona. But this behind us is where they used to actually stand. And it says that you can still see fruit trees and sequoia trees that they planted, which is so cool. So we're gonna go check out the chapel. It's the only building still standing here, and it's the oldest building in the park.
And I'm pretty sure my grandma and grandpa got married here.
Yeah.
I know they got married in Yosemite, and I know they have a picture by a chapel. I think this is
We
the
think
chapel,
it-
because I don't think there's another chapel in the park.
So we're gonna go see it.
Get a nice photo by it.
Yeah. So the Lower Yosemite Falls Trail is awesome. It is mostly wheelchair accessible. It's one big loop, and I think part of the loop isn't. So you would turn around and go back to the parking lot. But it is gorgeous. There's tons of amazing tall redwoods, is what I'm under the impression of. Maybe some sequoia trees that were planted by villagers. Who knows? I'm not a tree expert, but they're amazing, beautiful, and it smells so good here. Ryan and I are both talking about how all the sensations here are bringing back like childhood memories of places that we've camped or gotten together with family in the fall, and it's just an awesome feeling.
Well, it's more like the lowly falls. There's no water at all.
The lovely falls.
Lowly. Very low. Very low waterfalls. But I'm sure it's really pretty. There's a lot of huge boulders here, which get moved by a lot of water. And then way up in the canyon, I can actually see some rock climbers.
Yeah.
Rock climbers, you all are crazy.
Whoa, but it's pretty cool. It gives some good perspective for us who are down here at how big the walls are.
Yes. Well, one of the things that we didn't know and we think is pretty amazing is that there's like an actual village here. So like we have the store, they have a courthouse,
They got a
school. You can live in Yosemite. That's awesome.
I think they might need 2 PTs.
Yeah, I think we need to do some physical therapy.
Here.
Physical therapy here at their health clinic.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
923. It's the start of this tree. It's amazing. You've got the landing of Columbus. Wow. So it's just under, this tree is just under 1,000 years old.
Wow. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching and joining us this week.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of Yosemite. This was a little different. I feel like we did like no hiking, but it was still really amazing and peaceful. I think it was peaceful, and the
Yes.
sights were like awe-inspiring.
Yes, a really good national park. We highly suggest it.
Yep.
And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you don't already, subscribe to our channel. It helps support us. And leave a comment down below. We love reading your guys' comments.
Thanks for joining us today, and until next time,
See ya.